Hello, hello, hello. Brothers and sisters, we're very, very happy to welcome you again to our show titled Speak of Africa. Speak of Africa. Before we begin the show of today, we want to sincerely thank all those who are supporting this show. We want to thank all the viewers. We thank you for watching this show. We want to thank all the subscribers. We thank you for subscribing. And we want to thank all our advertisers. We thank you very much for advertising on this show. I know some of you have raised the question of why we run ads on the show. We run ads on the show because this is a business and we want to encourage brothers and sisters who have businesses to market their businesses on this show. We've always said self-reliance, self-help. This is our own way of helping our own people to promote their businesses. So if you have a business, do not shy away. Come to us. We want to promote your business as an African. Look at the statistics. Korea became independent. South Korea, for example, became independent around the 1960s. Similarly, Nigeria also became independent around that time. I take Nigeria as a good example. But today, South Korea is helping Nigeria with technology. They are supplying them with smart boots for testing COVID cases. What happened is because we've not only been focusing on building our own economies, on self-help, on self-reliance. So we want to encourage all those who are thinking about a business idea. Do not criticize those who are running ads on the show. Bring your own ads on this show. We'll run them, okay? Because the purpose of this show is to bring Africans together and to encourage you to realize the dream of one Africa, okay? So that's what we want to tell you. Bring your ads on this show. We'll support you too, okay? We don't discriminate. Whoever has a small business and they want to promote it, we'll promote the business on this show. If you even have a service which you want people to know about it, we'll be able to help you to promote that service on this show. Because the purpose of this show is to free Africans. You cannot free yourself if you are still a wage slave. If you are working for somebody, it means you are that person's slave. But you want to be your own master. You want to be able to fend for yourself. You have skills. When you contact us, we'll be able to show you how you can use these skills to make money for yourself as an entrepreneur. You don't have to have a lot of money. So long as you have skills, we'll be able to show you little techniques on how to get started on a small scale. A lot of the people we promote on this show started their businesses really small. And we can show you how to do the same thing from a very, very low level, then you rise to a very high level, okay? So with all this good news, so much is happening in Africa today, and we're really thanking most of you for sharing a lot of information with us. Without you sharing this information, we will not be able to have enough content to share with other brothers and sisters. So we say thank you for sharing. As usual, I'm going to Ambazonia. Ambazonia is a new country that has been restoring their independence in Africa. Okay, this part of the world used to be called the Southern Cameroons. They were tricked into a union with La Republique du Cameroun. But since then, they've been suffering from marginalization and second-class citizen treatment. So this has not really augured well. So the people now are fighting to reclaim their independence. La Republique has responded with ferocious brutality. They are killing the people every day. In fact, for the show of today, we're really going to show you what has been happening to one of the regions in the southern Cameroon area called the Northwest. We'll take you specifically to Bamenda, for example. You'll see the way the people are resisting La Republique du Cameroun.
Hospital about life, Bamenda. Hospital about life. Boy, we're not here, but I'm in a cafe show. Did you do nothing? Police didn't know nothing. No nothing. Amba Oye.
You see the ghost town effects. The whole city, you see the pictures. The whole city of Bamenda is on lockdown. There's nobody in the street. For a few weeks now, La Republique has been sending B soldiers to come and kill the people. So these B are a private army of the dictator called Paul Biya. They kill with impunity, and they know that nothing is going to happen to them, so they don't really have any qualms about killing people. So they really kill. They're just like a war machine. They mow you down if you make any noise. Whether you are young or they just kill indiscriminately. We've even shown you pictures in the past when they kill a little baby of just a few months old. They don't give a damn. They will kill anything that is living. Those are the instructions they've been given by the devil Paul Biya to kill. But these people have been sponsored and trained by the Israeli elements. Citizens of Israel went there, took a contract. They make a whole lot of money. If you look at how much the Jewish people make from Israel, for Israel using Cameroon money, it's a whole lot. In fact, you can even see pictures on social media. Some of these former Israeli soldiers who are training the B soldiers in Cameroon have amassed a tremendous and obscene amount of wealth just over blood money from Cameroon, La Republique du Cameroun. Which is why sometimes people ask us, why is it so difficult for these people to just rebel and free themselves? It's not easy. In fact, you're going to see the same thing. Even Maurice Kamto of La Republique du Cameroun's party called MRC, Mouvement de Renaissance du Cameroun. So you see what is happening. He even called a protest, but it was not really easy. We told you that the 22nd of September is not going to change much because we already know the facts on the ground. We know the way things work. The opposition in La Republique is heavily fragmented. They cannot speak in one voice. It's like we're facing the Tower of Babel, okay? So we already knew in advance that much of what Maurice Kamto was doing was much ado about nothing, the way William Shakespeare would put it, okay? So when it turns out that Biya did not go on the 22nd of September, we just started laughing. Before the 22nd of September, we've been telling you that we understand the politics of this area. We know the way things will happen. Biya is not going to go anywhere because Biya is heavily supported by a lot of forces that most of these people don't know. Well equipped, he gets training from US military and Israeli military. And it's just like America has just given the contract to Israel to handle security for Paul Biya. And this security really kills Cameroonians like flies, and they don't really care. You have to understand, when you look at the Bible, you know that the Jewish people went through their own trials. But it's interesting that these same people who have gone through Hitler's onslaught are the same people who are energizing a dictator to kill people in his own country. So it's really sad the way the world works. You see, the world is very hypocritical. When you look at these facts, we want you to understand. So Kamto, for example, was not able to succeed, and we knew he would not succeed. But you can see that these soldiers, there are so many videos. Look at the protests. So many protests were going on in Yaoundé and other parts of the world. You could even see pictures of some protesters in front of the police, and the police was beating some of them, and we have videos to show you of the police beating some of these protesters. But the people were really decided they wanted to protest, and they were protesting. In spite of all the odds, they were protesting. And you can see all the videos. There were even protests in Ghana. You have people from Ambazonia who were in Ghana. They were also protesting to make the world register their discontent.
Yeah, Mimi, how are you? Yeah, we are here right now at the Pretoria Embassy. Biya must go. Biya must go. We are tired of the war in the northwest and the southwest. We are tired of the killing of our brothers and sisters. Biya must go, by fire, by force.
Comme un soleil, ton drapeau fier d'être, un symbole ardent de foi et d'unité, que tous tes enfants du nord au sud, de l'est à l'ouest soient tout amour, de servir que ce soit le seul but, pour remplir le devoir toujours, chère patrie.
But were the protests enough to dislodge Biya from his seat in Etudi? No, because the guy is entrenched. We've said it before that only military force will be able to dislodge poor Biya from Etudi. All these funny protests are not taking you anywhere. The UN is supporting him, so you're just wasting your time. So the only way you can dislodge this dude from this position of power is to bear arms and fight him directly. The Ambazonians are doing it, and they are paying a price for it. But eventually, the Francophone majority would come to understand the Ambazonian position. Then they will join arms and start fighting this guy, and things will change. It may take a while, but soon it's coming. And we'll really tell you, on this show, we'll always tell you stuff we predict. We're not prophets, but whenever we predict something, it happens. Okay?
Have you heard the latest healthcare news? There's been a medical programming breakthrough. Let's go to Ali and Ron for more.
Thanks, Seb. A Good Samaritan is offering Alexia HTC, a new EMR EHR to doctors for free. Certainly, this free offer will shake things up in the medical software industry. Alexia HTC is a David pitting itself against the Goliaths, Epic, Cerner, and Meditech, which are old and cost too much money. What happens if you figure out how to build a new EMR EHR on the web for pennies on the dollar? You give it away to the suffering physicians for free.
Want to learn more about how these two powerhouse solutions will help you win more business? Schedule a demo below. In just minutes, Alexia HTC can help you access a patient record, enter an order, write a note, prescribe a medication, generate a charge, and create a super bill. Plus, Alexia Care Corporation, the vendor of the new web application, offers full customer service and training support free of charge. Who can beat that?
So from Ambazonia now, we're going to go to CAR, Central African Republic. Last week, we told you that La Republique du Cameroun had sent some police officers and soldiers to the Central African Republic. There also, there's been a whole lot of instability. The instability is because a lot of foreign forces, the French and the Russians, have been conniving to steal the resources of this part of the world. So when you look at the president, Faustin Touadéri, he has just been a puppet of Russia. In exchange for staying in power, the Russians gave him a lot of arms. So he keeps the Russians close to him so that they can support him, so that nobody can overthrow him. But the other militias are still fighting for the resources of this country. So when you look at the Central African Republic, there's just a whole lot of chaos. The UN is just wasting its time thinking that they can stabilize the place. They cannot, because not only is Faustin Touadéri fighting to run for a second term as president, Francois Bozize, he also is a former president. He used to be an army rebel who took power, then he was deposed. He too is trying to get back and retain the position of president. So all of these folks are jockeying for presidential power. How are things going to work out? there's always going to be more strife, and we'll tell you more strife is coming. We're going to take you now to Congo DRC, because Congo DRC is a country we've spoken to you about a lot of times. Congo DRC is like the Garden of Eden. Beautiful place. The world is just shocked with the amount of resources God has given to these people. Unfortunately, since independence, the people have not been able to enjoy these resources. This week, we only saw a lot of violence that exploded in this part of the world. Lumumbashi is like one of the biggest cities in Congo DRC. A lot of armed militia just stormed the place and started killing people. So the army of Felix Tshisekedi responded by pushing them back and killing some of them, sending them away. So then, of course, we saw some of the ex-warlords holding a peace meeting. So I look at this more like fragile peace. So long as things are not well settled, it's difficult for peace to come back to this part of the world. Well, at least we are happy with the return of Moise Katumbi. Moise Katumbi was also running for president with Felix Tshisekedi, but Joseph Kabila sidelined him. He stayed abroad for a long time. Then Felix Tshisekedi allowed him to regain his Congolese passport. He returned later. Now, this week, we've realized that Moise Katumbi has recovered his company, NB Trading. His company is a mining company, because he was the governor of Katanga province, which has a whole lot of mining resources, and he's a very rich guy. So he's been given his stuff back. He's recovered his stuff. But we think he looks at himself, he perceives himself to be a president in waiting. He may not really challenge Felix Tshisekedi for the presidency, but we know he's an opportunist. He will just look for the right time to strike and fulfill his presidential ambitions. So this is what we see in this part of the world. So from Congo DRC, we're going to move to Guinea. In Guinea also, we have trouble. The opposition is in trouble. They are struggling to dislodge Alpha Condé. Alpha Condé is making it difficult for them to dislodge him from presidential power. But you see, the opposition in Guinea also is very, very divided, and we don't think they have the resources to be able to dislodge this person from power. So even though they don't like Alpha Condé to stay there, the guy will stay there because he has the military might, okay? And he has colonial support. So long as he has all of this, there's no way that you'll be able to dislodge him, except a mutiny in the army, just the way it happened in Mali. From Guinea now, we're going to go to Ivory Coast. So Ivory Coast also is a former French colony. We've spoken about Ivory Coast a lot on this show. Even last week, we spoke of the presidential election coming up in October. But the news this week is that Laurent Gbagbo, the former president, will not be allowed to participate in these elections, okay? And of course, we have other people too. Guillaume Soro, who used to be one of the firebrands, is also been disqualified. Even though the African court has asked the Ivorian government to allow Guillaume Soro to participate in the elections, Ouattara is saying he does not recognize the authority of the African court. So this is really interesting. A boy of the Western institution is saying he doesn't respect institutions that were set up by the Western people, because this time his interest is at stake. He wants to run for a third term. Even though it's illegal, he still wants to run for a third term. Then the main architect of Alassane Ouattara's aspiration is Ahmad Bakayoko, who is now the new prime minister. He has his job cut out for him. He has to struggle to make sure that Alassane Ouattara's dream of a third term is realized as a dream. So we know a lot more people are going to die in this part of the world, because this is what we always call the politics of exclusion. When you exclude a lot of people from power, you make it possible for them to get angry and pick up arms and fight against you. And that's what is going to happen. We thought Alassane Ouattara had seen what happened in this country, the way the country was fractured into pieces. But it looks like the guy doesn't really care about the welfare of Ivory Coast. He only cares about his personal ambition, which is to run for president and win fraudulently for a third time. So this is not really good, but we tell you more trouble is coming. So next week, watch this show. We're going to tell you more stuff that is happening in Ivory Coast.
Is your EMR EHR COVID-19 ready? If not, you do not know what you are missing. Why do you suffer in silence? Be smart. Turn to Alexia HTC today. Alexia HTC is the leader in virtual solution and communication technology in these times of pandemic crisis. When the unexpected happens, who are you going to call? Alexia HTC. Come and see how Alexia HTC Cloud Communications are enabling your fellow healthcare providers to consult with patients virtually and making big money. Alexia HTC also enables your employees to work remotely during the COVID-19 crisis. Are your employees safe? Do not jeopardize the health and safety of your patients and practice. What can Alexia HTC do for you? Alexia HTC is the new Colossus, the sister of physicians, who gives you back liberty, that is, the freedom to practice medicine your way. Vivacious virtual visits wherever you please. Amazing e-prescribing. Quick access to patient information. Easy access to medical records from other providers. Rapid drug allergy checks. Integrated lab tests and results. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled doctors yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your greedy corporations. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed physicians, to me. I give them the refuge. The happy home of Alexia HTC. Act now. Browse alexiahtc.com or call 240-350-1131.
Next, we're going to take you again to La Republique du Cameroun. We've shown you a whole lot of videos. They are killing a lot of people, even journalists. This week, a lot of the international press has been talking about B. B is Bataillon d'Intervention Rapide, which is a rapid intervention force. It's basically Biya's private army. And we told you a few minutes ago that this army was trained by Americans and the Israeli government. So they put this army together, and Biya has been paying them handsomely to have this protection. So it's just like it has a concentric circle of all these B elements and Israeli mercenaries supporting him. So long as they are supporting him, they make it difficult to really topple him. The Cameroon army does not even have good ammunition compared to the B elements. The B elements are heavily fortified. They have very, very powerful arms, okay, machine guns and all that stuff. But they kill. They are also known for really killing and raping women. So one of the stories you're going to hear this week is the number of Bs raping women in the northwest and southwest of the country. So they are really a devilish force. In fact, their activities have left a mark. So it looks like their brutality is very ferocious. When you look at it, you know that, yes, these guys are bad. They're bad. I'm bad, okay? That's just what the B elements are. But the opposition is fractured, and they don't really have a good strategy. When they have a good strategy, they will be able to fight this Biya guy. But so far as they are playing games and they are not serious, they are not taking their job seriously, they will not be able to unseat the Biya dictator. So this bloody dictator will stay there and continue killing people. So from La Republique du Cameroun, we're going to take you now to Mali. Well, we've been reporting about Mali on this show a whole lot because they had a coup d'etat, even though the Western guys decided not to call it a coup d'etat, but it's a coup d'etat. A coup d'etat, a coup in French means a strike. You strike the star, which means a strike of the state. You strike the state apparatus, dislodge the power, and seize that power, and you have it for yourself. That's what the coup d'etat means. It's a French word, but it just means a strike. You strike the state. It's like you take something and hit the state with, okay? You seize the power. So that's exactly what is happening. So even the Americans and the European Union have withdrawn the support they were giving to Mali. But the good news is the soldiers too have shown that they are good politicians. With all the threats coming from ECOWAS, they've not been able to relinquish power to the civilians. What did they do? So Assimi Koita, who has been running the game for the military junta, now has become the vice president. He has arranged for another former minister of defense under Ibrahim Keita to become the president. And that guy's name is Mba Ndao. Mba Ndao now is the new president of Mali. So he will lead the junta, which is out now, plus the civilians now to civilian rule. So the transition now is taking place under these military guys. So which means these military guys are still in control, but because they want to play games with ECOWAS, they've chosen people who they claim are retired military guys. So now they are civilians so that they should run the show. But these guys are just their bodies. So I think they're just playing the game with ECOWAS. They are showing ECOWAS that even though they are military guys, they too are politicians. So they know how to play the game. So we see all of this happening in Mali, and we hope some normalcy can return to this part of the world, because this president, you ask, where does he come from? Well, he used to be the former Minister of Defense under Ibrahim Keita, and he was also part of Moussa Traoré. Moussa Traoré used to be the president of Mali. He died probably at the age of 84, just a few weeks ago. He was a dictator, but he was ousted in a coup, and he lived a long life. So he just died a few weeks ago, and we say may his soul rest in peace, even though he didn't really help his people.
Hey, yo, Shay, I thought you was gonna take me to this place so I could get my taxes done. You know I'm trying to buy a new house. What's up?
Let's get it on. If you're searching for a house, call up my man Prince Ojong, the best in real estate. Take it from your guy Shake. When I say his services are the best in the states where it's born, he even take care of your tax forms, fat refunds. So come, get your business done. Consultations, financial organization, fast processing, no waiting. This man is amazing. The Prince.
Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131.
So from Mali, we're going to go to Nigeria. So many stories are breaking in Nigeria today. In fact, we don't even have enough time to cover all the stories, but we're just going to start by expressing our condolence with the victims of an accident. An oil tanker caught fire and a lot of people died. What really happened was a problem of, I think, brake malfunction. So it looks like the driver was trying to slam the brakes, then the car skidded, then tumbled, and the oil was flowing. So a lot of people got burned. Even some of the vehicles that were close to the tanker got burned. So this tells us that this is an accident that could have been avoided. So we have to make sure that these vehicles are inspected. In most of the developing world, when you have vehicles that transport oil, before they move from one location to another, they try to service these vehicles, okay, so that they're in good condition. You don't just put a driver in the vehicle and let him drive a vehicle that has no brakes. They didn't even check the brakes. The brakes were not good. So when the guy was trying to drive, the tanker somersaulted, and a lot of people died when the oil was pouring. And you know, oil burns very, very fast. So we feel sorry for the families who lost lives during this accident. Then also in Nigeria, another major story was the accident, and I will not call it an accident, it's really an ambush. The Governor Zulum of Borno State was ambushed by the forces of Boko Haram. So this was a major problem of terrorism. The governor was traveling towards the Lake Chad area, close to Cameroon, where most of these victims, displaced persons were. So his goal was to try to see the place, see a lot of the sites where most of these migrants were, to ask them to return to their villages. These guys have already been victims of Boko Haram. Even as far as where they are in those camps, Boko Haram still gets in and kills some of them. When you tell them now to return to their villages, so you're telling them to return and become victims of Boko Haram. So they are afraid, they don't want to return. So when Boko Haram staged this ambush, I think they were just trying to send a message to the Nigerian government and to teach a lesson to the governor. If you thought you were untouchable were touching you. We've been touching other people and killing them. You expect, but this time we want you to feel our pain. We want you to stink you. We want to touch you. So a lot of people died during this ambush, but the governor survived, and I think he will live to tell the tale of what happened. So we know the Boko Haram problem is serious, but we think the Nigerian government is not doing a good job solving this problem. We've talked a lot about this problem on our shows. Even when Boko Haram turned 10, we celebrated this news on this show as a way to educate the Nigerian government to know how to deal with this problem. Even the other countries that are in the ECOWAS, like Niger, they are also suffering from these effects of Boko Haram. Cameroon, Chad, they are all suffering from the effects of Boko Haram. But when we ran a special piece on Boko Haram on this show, we wanted to educate these governments politically, economically, and socially on how to deal with the Boko Haram problem. But it looks as if most of them don't really watch this show, and they don't really have the opportunity to get the kind of advice we gave on this show. We said the way most of them are handling the Boko Haram problem is wrong. Militarization will never solve the Boko Haram menace. The menace will continue for a very long time. More and more people will be dying. Soon, some governors also will be dying, like Governor Zulum. Maybe when governors start dying, the government will start taking this threat seriously. So long as ordinary people are dying, it looks like the problem doesn't really hit home. But now that Governor Zulum has tasted death and lived, he will live now to tell the tale that Boko Haram is real. Unlike his master, President Buhari, who is saying Boko Haram has been vanquished, Governor Zulum will be able to tell that Boko Haram has not been vanished. It's a lie. President Buhari had two objectives when he took power as Nigerian president. The first objective was to deal with the terrorism issue. He promised Nigerians that he was a good general and he's going to use his military knowledge to solve the Boko Haram problem. So far, as you can see, he has failed. What about the fight against corruption? The anti-corruption fight also is a fiasco. This week, a lot of Nigerian activists and other politicians have sent President Buhari a list of a lot of those politicians who are corrupt for him to investigate them. What did President Buhari do? He said, no, I don't want to look at the list. I don't need to look at a list of anti-corrupt elements. Then why did you promise Nigerians that you want to solve the problem of corruption? Nigeria has a whole lot of resources. If Nigeria is receiving stuff from South Korea, it's a shame because things are not just run well. I know some of the problems, we don't really blame you. You inherited the problem of Boko Haram and a bad economy, but you ran because you thought you could make things better. But so far, Mr. Buhari, you've not made things better, and we feel sorry for what is happening. Then when we look at Uganda, Uganda also is another country where there are problems. We have the story of the US Department telling them, please free a writer and a journalist, and they were forced to free that journalist. Then of course, Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe now is a bucket case. We don't really have much time to talk about Zimbabwe, but there are so many problems happening in Zimbabwe. We just want to ask you to pray for Emerson Mnangagwa. Thank you very much for watching the show of today. We think we've really hit a lot of points. We have a lot of videos to share with you. So watch the videos and please tell your friends to subscribe. Watch this show. May God bless you.
I'm at Favor. It's an African store by the neighborhood here, Beltsville, in back of Marion's farm. It's been a wonderful year for the past 2 to 3 years we have in this African store here, and it's helping us, and actually it's a good place for us to come and give us support and do some shopping here. The prices are reasonable and most of the stuff you can have is universal.
One thing I love about this store, they are very consistent and they treat the customers very, very well. You come here, you see everything that you will need for your house.
Express Driving School is the place for excitement of fast-track driver education. Driver education, drug and alcohol testing, driver counseling, bilingual translation. For all your MVA needs, contact us. John F. Abbey, 6480 New Hampshire Avenue Suite, 207B. Tacoma Park, Maryland, 20912. Office phone, 301-270-0018. Cell phone, 240-644-3977. And you can reach us at our website, expressdrivingeducation.com. Medical practice software is too old. Indeed, all the programs are built on MUMPS, technology of the 1950s, and the programs cost too much money. Epic and Cerner cost billions of dollars. Meditech costs thousands of dollars too. In fact, that's why we created AlexiaHTC.com, a new and free EMR/EHR for doctors. AlexiaHTC.com is built for HIPAA. Yes, magical one-screen technology, ease of use, quick charting, amazing e-prescribing, tight labs integration, multi-office difference, because we believe doctors and patients need a break today. Be the first to test drive AlexiaHTC.com. You have nothing to lose, you have everything to gain. Act now. Call 240-350-1131. Alexia Care Corporation at AlexiaHTC.com.
Unique Auto Repair. This is a brother from Ghana. His name is Emmanuel Ofori. He has a good business and he repairs cars. He repairs all type of cars. Mercedes, Toyota, Honda, you name it. The brother does it. He repairs everything. So even if you buy a car from the auction and you need to get it fixed, go to Emmanuel Ofori, Unique Auto Repair. He will repair this for you. He's very, very good. He has repaired my cars for me many times, and I love the service. And if you mention my name, Prince Ojong, he will give you even something also.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.